Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, the Panama Papers have created a huge furor around the world. Now, in a nutshell, the Panama Papers are records from a Panamanian law firm detailing the steps they took to help rich people hide their money to avoid paying taxes. For example, they would set up dummy corporations whose sole purpose was to pretend that they were actually businesses when in fact they did nothing more than hide money from the taxman. Now, so far, no Americans have been named in those papers, at least that we know of. They haven't been totally released yet. But you have to remember that this is the work of one law firm in Panama. We have thousands of law firms here in the United States and all over the world that are probably doing the same thing. So the names that will eventually come out are only going to be a drop in the bucket. And as people rush to condemn those who are named in the papers, there is something really important to remember. This is business as usual for the rich. They all do it. They all evade taxes, either illegally or legally. They have lobbyists who then get politicians to put laws in the tax code that make things that should be illegal, legal. Secret bank accounts, tax havens in foreign countries, loopholes and subsidies in the tax codes which really just shouldn't be there. Right. We spend way more on corporate welfare than we do on helping the poor. That will tell you what's going on in our tax code. A perfect example of this is Donald Trump. Now, you might have noticed that he hasn't released his tax forms, as all candidates do. But the reason that he hasn't released his forms is simple, because he pays no taxes. And this is because there is a special loophole in the tax code just for fat cat real estate magnates like him that allows him to get away with paying nothing, even though he's a billionaire. And the rich always claim, when it's found out that they're taking advantage of these loopholes, they claim that, oh, well, it's smart to take advantage of what's in the tax code. But it isn't like they brilliantly discovered something that was there. They paid lobbyists and bought politicians to put those things in the tax code. So there is not a tremendous amount of smart business sense involved, just corruption. Another example is that the Citizens United decision by the Supreme Court legalized bribery. They took something that used to be a crime and made it legal. And that's what's been happening to our tax code for years. So let's not get carried away with finding the villains in the Panama Papers, because we might lose sight of the big picture. And the big picture is this, that the more money the rich get, the worse off the rest of us are. Because they take that money and they don't put it back into the economy, they simply hide it. They have a fetish for getting the most money that they can. It makes them feel, I guess it compensates for the small size of their dicks, I don't know what. But the fact is that this is what they do. So all this stuff about trickle down and how if you help the rich and it's going to lift all boats is bullshit. So the first thing that we need to do here in America, and actually all across the world, is simplify the tax code. Not by creating a flat tax or anything like that, but simply by taking out every single subsidy and loophole that exists in them that the rich take advantage of. And then we need to complicate it a little bit by bringing back the effective tax rates that were in effect before Ronald Reagan fucked the country, including the 90% tax bracket. We need to raise the minimum wage. We need to make right-to-work laws illegal so that we can create strong unions. And this is the only way that we're going to be able to pry the money out of the hands of the greedy motherfuckers that are now amassing all of it, and put it in the hands of the poor and the middle class who will actually do some good with it. Thanks for listening.